Right now, somewhere in your life, there is a door marked safe. You know exactly where it leads. It leads home. It leads to comfort. It leads to the version of your life that makes sense. And most people, when things fall apart, walk straight through that door without even looking back. But there is one ancient story about a woman who stood in front of that door and chose the other one instead. The one with nothing behind it. No home. No guarantee. No safety net at all. Her name was Ruth. And the real answer to why she did it is found in this powerful thought: loyalty isn't a feeling. It's a decision made in the exact moment when leaving would be easier. Ruth's story begins with loss. Her husband, her father-in-law, her brother-in-law have all passed away. She is a young widow in a foreign land, with no children, no income, and no legal protection. In the ancient world, this wasn't just sad. It was dangerous. A woman without a husband or son was, in many cultures of the time, one crisis away from starvation. Her mother-in-law, Naomi, understands this. So Naomi does the responsible thing. She tells Ruth to go home. Back to her own people. Back to her own gods. Back to safety. And Ruth's sister-in-law, Orpah, does exactly that. She kisses Naomi goodbye and walks back into her old life. Nobody blames her. It's the sensible choice. It's the choice almost anyone would make. But Ruth doesn't move. She says words that have echoed for thousands of years: where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people. Why would anyone say that? Why would a young woman trade safety for a stranger's uncertain future? This is where the story stops being just ancient history and starts being a mirror for how your own brain works. Psychologist John Bowlby spent decades studying what he called attachment, the deep bond that forms between people who have relied on each other through hardship. Bowlby found that attachment isn't built in comfortable mom. It's forged in crisis. The harder the shared struggle, the stronger the bond that follows. Ruth and Naomi didn't bond over a peaceful life. They bonded over burying their husbands together. Their attachment was forged in grief, and grief, it turns out, glues people together in ways comfort never can. But there's something even stranger happening underneath Ruth's choice. Researcher Muzaffar Sharif, in his famous Robber's Cave experiment, discovered something unsettling about human loyalty. He found that people don't just form bonds with those who are similar to them. They form fierce loyalty with whoever they've shared hardship with, even complete strangers, even people from a rival group. Sharif's boys at that summer camp became loyal to their team not because they liked each other at first, but because they suffered and struggled side by side. Ruth wasn't just loyal to Naomi because she loved her. She was loyal because they had already survived something together. And once that bond forms, walking away starts to feel like betrayal, even when every practical reason says leave. Here's the twist almost nobody notices in this story. Ruth had every logical reason to go home. She was young. She could remarry. She had a family waiting for her. Naomi herself gave her permission to leave, twice. There was no shame in it. No one would have thought less of her. So why does Ruth choose the harder path? Modern behavioral economists have a name for a piece of this puzzle. Researcher Dan Ariely has spent years studying why people make decisions that seem irrational on paper, but make perfect sense once you understand what people actually value. Ariely's work shows that humans consistently choose loyalty and connection over logical self-interest, especially when someone has already invested deeply in a relationship. Ruth had already invested everything. Her marriage. Her grief. Her years in Naomi's household. Leaving wouldn't have felt like freedom. It would have felt like erasing everything that already happened. Think about that for a second. Have you ever stayed loyal to someone, even when it cost you something? A friend going through a hard season. A family member everyone else gave up on. A commitment you made before things got difficult. It rarely feels heroic in the MO. It usually just feels like the only option that doesn't break something inside you. Ruth follows Naomi to Bethlehem with nothing. No money. No status. No plan beyond survival. She goes into the fields to gather leftover grain, a practice reserved for the poorest people in that society. It's humiliating work. It's exhausting work. And she does it every day, without complaint, because someone she loves needs to eat. This is where the story quietly shifts from tragedy toward something else. A landowner named Boaz notices her. Not because of her beauty. Because of her reputation. Word has already spread through Bethlehem about the foreign woman who gave up everything for her mother-in-law. Her loyalty, the very thing that looked like weakness when she chose it, has become the thing people respect most about her. This is the counterintuitive part your brain doesn't expect. In a culture obsessed with self-preservation, Ruth's willingness to sacrifice herself for someone else didn't destroy her. It built her a future she couldn't have engineered on her own. Boaz protects her, provides for her, eventually marries her. And Ruth, the foreign widow with nothing, becomes the great-grandmother of King David. A woman with no safety net becomes part of the family line that shapes an entire nation's history. Here's the question worth sitting with. What if the moments that look like your biggest sacrifices are actually the moments building your future, in ways you can't see yet? Ruth couldn't have known, standing at that fork in the road with Orpah, that loyalty would lead anywhere except hardship. She wasn't choosing Boaz. She wasn't choosing a happy ending. She was choosing Naomi, with nothing promised in return. That's what makes it loyalty, and not a calculated bet. The reward, if it comes at all, only shows up after the choice has already been made without one. There's a reason this story still gets told thousands of years later, in every language, across every culture. It isn't really about ancient Moab or Bethlehem or grain fields. It's about the exact moment you're standing in right now, whenever it happens. The moment when leaving would be easier. When nobody would blame you for walking away. When safety is one direction and loyalty is the other, and no one can promise you which one leads anywhere good. So the next time you're standing at that door marked safe, remember what it actually costs to walk through it, and what it might cost you not to. Because the real answer was never found in the easy choice. It was found in the powerful thought Ruth carried with her into a foreign land. Where you go, I will go.